Oh, we have been watching and listening to President Trump there in the Oval Office, flanked by his Treasury Secretary and his senior advisor, who also happens to be his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And it would seem as if a diplomatic breakthrough has happened. Israel and the United Arab Emirates have normalized ties. Let's bring in my colleague, MSNBC anchor Ayman Mohyeldin, very familiar with that part of the world. Ayman, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, this makes the UAE the third Arab country to recognize Israel's existence, the other two being Egypt and Jordan, who, of course, share a border with Israel. How significant is this announcement from the president?
Yeah, so let me break this down in a few. And there's so many different things to talk about from what we just heard there from that press conference. Yes, this does make Israel and the United Arab Emirates, I should say the UAE, the third official country to recognize Israel. Of course, there have been unofficial exchanges between Israel and other Arab countries. Obviously, the Israeli prime minister was in the Sultanate of Oman earlier, I believe last year, I should say. So it's not a surprise to say that Israel has had unofficial relationships with Arab countries. That aside, though, for a moment, it is an important day from a symbolic point of view. Israel and the United Arab Emirates have obviously maintained relationships over a whole host of issues over the last couple of years. Those bonds have gotten deeper. It does not surprise